We have our buddy, our longtime friend, Golfweek Senior Writer, David Dusek, to talk all things Masters. David, how you doing? Is this one of the best days of the year or what?
And this is the one you circle on the calendar, but pretty much on the Monday morning leaving Augusta National, you circle the calendar for the next year because this is Christmas, this is Hanukkah, this is the whole thing wrapped up into one.
Absolutely love it. All right, so Tiger through 17, he's +1. How would you characterize his round?
It's rusty, and I think that's pretty unrealistic to think that it wasn't going to really be this way. I think we wishfully think that we're going to get Tiger from 2019 when he was the winner, or that we get a vintage Tiger year. But this is a player now with all the injuries that are really well documented. He just can't practice and play as much as he would want, and therefore you can't come into a course where things are so demanding and so challenging and so difficult for everybody, let alone somebody who, by his own admission, really struggles to walk 72 holes. So the practice time, everything that he puts into his preparation for this is probably more limited. He can hit shots, and he can certainly knows his way around, but it's starting to be unrealistic to think that Tiger Woods is really going to be contending in major championships. And he even said in his pre-round press conference this year, he doesn't know how many more of these things he's got physically left in him. So I think that we're in the point right now where we should just appreciate everything that we get from Tiger. I think people are doing that. But to realistically think, is he going to be a factor on the weekend? I think the better thing to hope for is just, can he get to the weekend?
So we've had, in the past, golfers in their 50s have won major tournaments. Tiger's 47 right now, David. Is there any chance that we'll see, even if he seems to be in a bit of a slump, as you're noting, is there a chance that on one of these majors, one of these courses, that down the road we'll see, like one of those Fred Couples or Tom Watson runs, or Phil Mickelson at 50? Is it the way you described it sounds like it's reaching the end, but is this just really we're going to have to wait for the right circumstances for Tiger to win at this level again?
Yeah, and I think that what we could probably get is, for example, this July when we go back for the British Open at Royal Liverpool, he won on that golf course in 2006. And if he catches the right week, and if his body holds up and it's not, crazy, insane weather, which you can get there, it's a really, really flat walk. It's very easy to walk when you're inside the ropes at those courses that are links courses. Augusta National is like on a mountainside. From a physical standpoint, to walk around it is challenging. The holes are really challenging. As he gets older, for example, and he can still get it out there as far as just about anybody on tour. But as the years go on, links courses, British Opens, where creativity and guile and experience plays such a huge role. And a lot of times remember, Tom Watson at age 59 nearly won a British Open because the ball rolls out forever and ever. So I think that's going to end up being his best chance as the years go by.
David Dusek is Golfweek Senior Writer, joining us now to talk a little bit about the Masters. All right, so away from Tiger, what's the biggest surprise of day one so far?
I don't know if number one, the scoring conditions are this good because there's no wind. It's warm. It's 85 degrees in Augusta. The humidity is up. It's going to be the best day of scoring that we're probably going to see. We're supposed to get rain. The wind isn't supposed to get too bad, which means scoring conditions on Friday could be good, but the high is going to be in the low to mid 50s on Saturday, and then we're expecting more rain and cold and wet. The ball's not going to go anywhere. Today is the day to make birdies. And the thing that I just look at, Maggie, is like the quality on the top of the leaderboard. I mean, this is exactly what CBS and everybody who's associated with this tournament really wants to see. Victor Hovland, John Rahm, Adam Scott, Cameron Young, there are stars at the top of the leaderboard doing what they're supposed to do. My condolences, Maggie, that your junior prom date, Will Zalatoris, had to withdraw. I'm really sorry about that.
Looks just like the guy I went to junior prom with.
I'm telling you, if you throw a little side eyes towards that Cameron Young kid, he's pretty good. For people who may not be aware, he's really, really good. And again, if you're looking for a little bit of a dart, he's a top 20 in the world player. He's not going anywhere. He's really good.
So, talking to David Dusek, Golfweek, I watched Full Swing on Netflix, and I was led to believe that Brooks Koepka had completely lost his mental faculties and was never going to be competitive again.
It got pretty dark for him in that series.
But now I see him right there on the leaderboard as well. Are we looking at a possible Koepka comeback?
Who knows? His body is going to dictate how well he does, which is sort of stating the obvious. He's had so many injuries over the last couple of years. that if he's healthy and if he's feeling good, there's no reason to think that he can't put together 4 good rounds and maybe contend in another major. He won the Live Series event last week, played at Orange County National Golf Club, which isn't exactly where like Ben Hogan used to go and train, but it seems to have given him a little bit of a confidence, a little bit of a good feel. A lot of the Live guys are struggling so far this, today. There's just no getting around that. A couple of them, like Koepka, Joaquin Niemann, is at 3 under. Patrick Reed, who's former Masters champion, got it around a 1 under par. But Koepka, if he's able to hold it together physically, and it certainly sounds like from what he's saying, the knees are good, the back is good, everything is going along well enough, he'll get a lot of confidence if he can bring this into the house at 5 under par and finish the day with a 67. He's going to be feeling it.
David, a little gossip. Let's sidetrack for a second. Not just that the tortilla soup was apparently the spiciest thing that has ever been served at a Masters dinner, and we got a little of that reporting, but also that Phil Mickelson is obviously at this tournament. It was at the players' dinner, the champions' dinner, pardon me, sitting at the end of a table, nobody talking to him, according to some reports, and him not talking to anybody. You mentioned the Live golfers are struggling. Do you get the sense they're also getting frozen out a bit?
I don't know that they're necessarily being frozen out of it, because I think that one-on-one relationships that are out there, a lot of guys live around other pro golfers. So they're seeing people here and there, and I don't really think that there's a whole lot of that happening. But I will say that it's really interesting as you guys take a look at the coverage and as you see photographs of Phil Mickelson, take a look at how different he looks than compared with a year ago and then even 2 years ago. He's lost a significant amount of weight. He's always got the sunglasses on. To me, the eyes are getting really sunken. He looks like just a physically very different person. Now, Phil is 52 at this point, but it's just something that I've noticed starting last year when we saw him. The beard was coming through.
What do you think's going on?
Down, the sunglasses there. He was physically separating himself off from a lot of things. Like he was just changing. And you can still see that when you see images of him there. Now, in Phil Mickelson, a 3-time, Masters winner, can probably get around Augusta National in his sleep at, 1 under par. It'll be really interesting to see if he's able to bring it around. He just made double bogey on 11. I don't know exactly where we're going to get it because he's been playing terribly since changing over to the Live Tour. I have no clue exactly what we're going to get, but it's been weird to sort of see Mickelson around and so much less jovial and happy and bouncing around. It's a different Mickelson these days.
David, what is your sense nationally of the popularity of the Live golfers? Are people holding it against them? Not the other players, but fans generally, and not just who are in Augusta, but nationwide. Are less people rooting for Phil Mickelson and Brooks Koepka and all the other big-name golfers in Live?
I don't know that it's necessarily that they're rooting against them. I think that so much of it is out of sight, out of mind. I mean, when is the last time that people are really talking these days, about most of the guys that are on the tour? Bryson DeChambeau isn't making any news these days. Bubba Watson, nobody's talking about these guys. They have a TV deal, but it's a 3 days, and 2 of the days are only on the app and not necessarily on broadcast TV. They play once a month. And with the lawsuits and litigation, all the stuff going back and forth, Liv has made a lot more noise and a lot more news about the sort of breakaways and the money than the actual golf. No one's really talking about the way, most of these guys are playing golf. Patrick Reed, nobody's talking about that. So it's much more, to me, less animosity rooting for or against. It's just almost forgotten.
David, last one. So any kind of predictions for tomorrow? You said the weather's going to be changing a little bit, so expect the scores to, go up a little bit, I guess is the best way to put it. Any other predictions for tomorrow?
It's the day where I think you're just sort of bracing for impact. It looks like Saturday is really going to be the day when it comes home. So you're trying to bank as many birdies, pack away as many good scores as you possibly can, because, as you know, the scores are probably going to go up a little bit, in which case then – you're just trying to hold on and not give it away. You don't want to make a triple or a quad or have something really bad. You don't want to put it into the creek on 12 a couple times. And we've seen championships lost that way. So it's just a day to sort of consolidate what you've got, make yourself comfortably, get through the cut, get to the weekend, and then just keep grinding away. It's, for everybody after today, it's 54 more holes, and we got a long way to go.
David, how do you feel about the fact that it looks like I'm on my way to predicting my second major in a row accurately, because I nailed Cam Smith last year, and now John Rahm was my prediction this morning. kind of seems like I'm on fire. Fair to say.
It's kind of like you're going after like the number 1 and 2 players in the world, Perloff. Really way to go out on a limb with this.
Kind of. Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. Was Cam Smith that way at the? Oh yeah, kind of.
Yeah, he kind of was.
What's next? You're going to predict a Yankees-Dodgers World Series? Way to go out on a limb there, Perloff.
Oh, no. There's no way the Yankees are making the World Series. Okay, if you had to make a pick now that you've seen a little bit of action, who is it Victor Hovland's tournament to lose, David?
I think it's really hard to go wire to wire. I mean, Hovland's in the house now after shooting 65. That's a big ask. I still like John Rahm as a pick. I realize that, again, it's right there. I think that's a really smart pick. Xander Schauffele, who's now finished at 4 under par after shooting 68, the guy's game is bulletproof. He's got no weaknesses. He's been in the mix on Sunday at the Masters. He had a taste of the lead in 2019 before he lost it to Tiger. I really like X-Man with Xander.
David, can't tell you how much we appreciate this. David Dusek, check him out, Golfweek Senior Writer. Enjoy the rest of the tournament, David. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
Appreciate it.